All right, let's do something a little bit different today. Let's bring up Discord for. Where does it want to come up? It actually might be fine. But I'm going to switch it up a little bit today. And, let's see, I got some notifications. We're going to ignore all that for now. And start this event. Don't know how to get the notification there, but you know what? Don't know who you are, but you're welcome to jump into the chat so that you can do any Q&A. I'm going to switch things up a little bit today. I'm going to try to, let's move me. Let's move me up to, is top right in the way? I don't think top right is in the way of the text. That way I can show the chat. Hey, Yush, is my
Hello?
audio okay? Is my audio okay? Testing 1, 2, 3. Hello, can you hear me?
I don't think you are audible, Jason.
Well, I quit Discord and restarted just so that this would work. But Discord stinks. That's my main. It says it's getting my audio because it's highlighting it. I mentioned how many times I hate Discord. Alright, let's try quitting Discord again. And starting it up yet again. I was trying to be smart this time and start Discord up after doing the live stream. Can I join stage? No, not requests. I gave you a right to speak. That's okay. Ayush, can you hear me now on Discord? Oh, I gotta be invited to speak. Ayush, can you hear me now on Discord?
Yeah, I can.
I invited a new person. I don't know who Ole is, but please feel free to introduce yourself, ask any questions about Beagle and Zephyr. I'm going to switch it up a little bit today because I want to spend a little bit of time with Pocket Beagle. I think it's on 1. No, that's actually that's Beagle Connect Freedom there. Let's unplug that guy. All right. So you said you could hear me okay?
Yeah, I can.
I'm going to switch it up a little bit because I want to spend some time with Pocket Beagle too, and I think it'd be useful to try to get Zephyr running upstream on Pocket Beagle 2. I think it leads to a lot of things. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Okay. So I just plugged in a Pocket Beagle 2 without anything on it. I've got a Pi debug probe on it. So that's this, right? That's connected up to the little... oh no, my cable's too short. So I've got a Pi debug probe connected to the Pocket Beagle 2 here, and then I've got a USB cable that I've plugged in to it, to my computer, and unfortunately I'm using one of those short USB connections, right? So it went away, and it should come back again shortly. There it is. So I wanted to think it is in U-boot here. I've built U-boot using the the instructions at
In our U-boot repository, right?
it's on ours. Like so, the I'm trying to pull up the whatever instruction. So I used two things to build it. I was just gonna pop this up from the forum. I've got the snag boot discussion in there. I noted. So that's where the build instructions were. So this is the instructions, but I didn't use Beagle Play. So I had to build all of these different projects, right? I had to build, you know, the trusted firmware, the Opti. So I had to follow all of these instructions, which I need to maybe document a little bit cleaner and get it into the CI. But I did it with this tag here, right? So this, where Robert had made a branch on the Beagle U-boot, right? So out on Open Beagle, Beagle board, U-boot. Robert's got a branch on there called, I use 2025-01 Pocket Beagle 2. I guess this is for upstream, is working on the current release candidate for 04. Hopefully that lands upstream. But this is the source code. This is the tag that I used to build U-boot. Let me just paste those in the chat. So that's the U-boot tag, and then these are the instructions. So I need to go back and put this into the forum post. But once we get this into CI,
Robert also has like a script which pulls the Opti and trusted firmware tree and our current U-boot tree to build in CI.
Okay. Yep. I mean, eventually we have to just package this, and because this is just using DFU, potentially we could use DFU util, or just implement the protocol, right? I think in Rust, your plan would probably be to just directly implement the protocol, the DFU. Are you planning on implementing
it already
protocol?
exists.
Oh, it's like
someone has already implemented it. Yeah, it already exists, but we also have other options.
Yeah, no,
depending on
the state. That makes sense, right? But instead of using snag boot or Python, right, or even like an external package, right, you can bundle it into the binary itself for BB Imager.
Yeah.
And so once you have these images, right, if I run snag, I'm gonna copy and paste this because I don't remember. It's just where am I? Can I not copy and paste it? Oh, it's down here. Craziness. Oh, it's where I put in I do have the UDEV rules installed on my machine for permissions. Oh, where is it? It's just here. So I just pulled it from this template from my directory. Let me pull that back again, right? So it's SOC for the is AM65. Use that one. And in my snag boot is where I did the pip install, right? So that's where I've got my environment, my VANV for snag boot, where I pip installed snag boot. So the lib has my Python side packages. So in snag boot itself, you can find the think it's snag recover templates. This the AM62 Beagle Play. Did I type that funny? Templates AM62. There we go. Beagle Play. So I'm just using that one. There's not much in it. Let me just show you what it is. It's just saying where the path is for these 3 files, right? And so if you those are all just built in this directory. So it's going to use all of those to get U-boot going, right? So snag recover -s AM625 snag boot Python site packages snag recover templates there, should just have made a local file. Anyway, so it goes through this process and why is it recovering? Am I on the right? I can see the LEDs that it's loaded, so I'm probably on the wrong. I'm gonna unplug and replug the PyDebug header. Fat fingered it, didn't I? ACM 0. Okay, well, it probably was ACM 0 before. Oh, it's there. Why didn't I see the initial boot? All right, I'm pulling the plug again. I'm surprised I didn't see the original boot message, right? So this is connected to U-boot, right? Well, it was. I pulled the power plug. So snag recover. There it goes. It takes a moment for the DFU to start. There we go. Now I actually managed to see the initial boot message in U-boot. Right, so now I think what we want to do here is we can either put DFU into U-boot, right? There's a lot of different ways that we can do this, but because in Zephyr I know there's a DFU boot.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. If you don't hear me, you might just watch the live stream and ask questions in the text window. So let me paste the live stream link.
You can paste it.
Questions.
I have.
Oh, you already pasted it?
I just pasted it, but
yeah. Yeah, because I mean, I really do want this session to be useful for Q&A, if anybody has any Q&A for this stuff. But I feel like we've kind of slowed down a bit until we get a few things upstream on BeagleY-AI, and I know we want to go back to that, but with Pocket Beagle 2 being out there, I think there's just low-hanging fruit in terms of getting a Zephyr patch and getting it to just do West Flash in order to run it on the A53s themselves, right? And then we can do things like microblocks and stuff being loaded just directly from BB Imager, and then potentially other loaders, right? Anything that kind of handles DFU. I think so this USB boot I think is USB host. I think there's already compiled in here some here we go, DFU. So we should actually be able to set the environment in here without well, I think this session would be a good one to actually change U-boot to defaults to do what we want, right? So that we can make a patch to U-boot so that we have a def config that would have a default environment that would also just. I think DFU, since we already have to have DFU to get it to this point, so why don't we continue to do DFU? Thoughts?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, DFU seems good.
And I don't necessarily have a binary. Archicle. I don't remember how this goes. All right. Let's grow this guy.
Yeah, menu config on kernel, and yeah, kernel it always complains like that, but Zephyr one does not for some reason.
So it's going to be in the default environment. Just I guess I'm probably find it in the. Because the last thing I built was the the A53 one, which is the one that I need to change. Because I think if we look at is DFU boot in the boot list? So it looks for different. Where's the list of commands? If MMC rescan. Hi Drew. I invite you on stage in case you want to speak up. We're kind of taking a little bit of a detour today, playing with Pocket Beagle 2, and looking at what it would take to load Zephyr. I think going through U-boot might be the easiest thing, because that's something that's already maintained. So using U-boot to load other things might be a good first step. What is... That way we could use the same bootloader setup for Linux as we use for Zephyr. What is... So this is looping over something, right? Bootflow scan -lb. What is that? Where's my browser? Never heard of the bootflow command. Bootflow -scan -lb. So like that might be the... To manage boot flows, it can scan boot devices to locate boot flows, list them, and boot. Okay. How about boot flow list then? Zero boot flows. How do I add a boot flow? So where do you think that would be in the boot options?
I'm trying to find if I can see anything online.
U-boot, boot flow, and DFU. So I don't need to specify the U-boot. Config DFU over USB. Let's search for that. No, what was it? DFU over USB. Looks like it's set to yes. So we have DFU. So this is under, where is it in the menu? Drivers, DFU. Yeah, I didn't see where it showed that was in the menu list. Device drivers. DFU. Ran back in for DFU. Yeah, I mean the command's there, so it looks like everything is in there, but it's not finding it in the list. So I wonder if I just need to add a DFU alt info. DFU setting for USB download gadget with. All I need is, what, do they all end with ampersand? Each interface is separated by an ampersand, so well, let's just try manually enabling DFU and see what happens. DFU 0 RAM. What's boot address? Print. Is there an script address, read address, RAM disk address, kernel address, load address. Let's just use load address, right? DFU 0 RAM load address. USB controller, that's 0. USB list. Oh, we start USB. Huh. I wonder if that'll change the boot scan. No, boot. What was it? Boot flow scan. Still didn't identify that as a boot method. USB 0, let's just see, unknown device. USB tree. How about USB 1? DFU. Why does it think it's a 5 gigabit device? It's not. I guess because the controller is generic. RAM load address. Okay, what am I doing wrong? DFU controller interfaces RAM. Interfaces RAM, right? Interface DFU. Raw. No, RAM. I want RAM. RAM device. Device is not used for RAM target. Okay. Each element in DFU alt being oh, there is a DFU alt info. What on earth does this mean? So it's this. This looks like it's something that would program an SD card as opposed to running in RAM.
I mean, there are examples to program the eMMC using DFU and U-boot in the TI forums.
Okay. Yeah, but I don't want to flash RAM. I don't want to flash anything on the SD. I just want to put an entirely volatile state into RAM for now. Whatever we load can save its state. There's stuff on the U-boot sources as well. I think is probably just getting, yeah. This is doing the same thing Snagboot did. Right? Probably should just use DFU util. In fact, why don't I just do that? Why don't we skip using Snagboot? Let's reboot this and just prove that no, group DFU. There we go. So it's there. Dash A bootloader? I don't know. What does that mean? So DFU util is just apt installed from Ubuntu. So okay. Unable to read DFU status after completion. Okay, not sure if that's how bad of a fail that is. TISPL-D TISPL.n. Invalid suffix signature. Oh, unable to read DFU status after completion. Is it? So it should have run after TI boot 3. Shouldn't it have gone back into DFU mode? Ah, I did it again. No, it did not go back into DFU mode. DFU mode. USB reset has to be done. Maybe Snagboot does something else. Oh, DFU-R, DFU-R. But I did DF. Did they do anything else to try to point to the device?
I think Snagboot was like going through all the USB devices to find the one that does support DFU.
Sure.
Uh,
But it's this USB download gadget now. But wouldn't these examples here of using DFU, shouldn't these examples work? So Snagboot might find that. Yeah, it's looking for iInterface with bootloader. Maybe I should have not added a -A. Let me try this again with the dash. Maybe do a -A of. Oh, that's the wrong one. Let's not do that one. Oh, it had a -A. So TISPL is what it should be looking. So maybe I don't have. Okay. Let's do LSUSB. It's going to be this one. How do I find some more information about that one? Because maybe it's got a... So there's 61, 65. I want to show the descriptors, because if I see the descriptor name, devnum. Oh, that's not the device num, it's the -D. Okay, here we go. 0451. Alright, what does this thing call itself now? TISPL bin. Oh, I think the example just had TISPL. Yeah. Bug. That should be .bin. Bug. Okay, what did it name itself now? Not that one. This. What did it? Oh, is it here? Did it not come back this time? Alright, did it error out for real? A valid DFU suffix will, yeah, whatever it says. It wants DFU files. These aren't DFU files. Okay. So it found at this time resetting USB after runtime. Doesn't seem to have come back from the SPL, from the R5 code. Is there, I don't know if there's a different configuration at all. Either way, I need to issue a bug on this. I guess that probably needs to be done over email. But that right there, with the default, at least, it's tispl.bin, not tispl, as the name of the device. Well, Snag Recover is doing something else better than the 3DFU util commands. It'll come back. There it goes. What did it say? So it says it's done installing firmware. Yeah. So doesn't say what ID it was looking for. Oh, maybe that's probably what's in the YAML file with the IDs to look for. Maybe that's what it's doing. Yeah, so spl.bin and then uboot, it's without the .image. Huh. That might be informative here. So the way this is boot, I'm powering the device again. Unplug and power, and so the first time should just come up. Oh, dash I, because it's capital. It calls it bootloader, and that one's good. The second time it comes up, I copied that. Copied that wrong. It's not .spl, it's .spl.bin. We can see it is now going to be uboot. Oh, no, this says TSPL. So it's not a direct mapping. I don't know, man. So this time, well, I don't see it anywhere in here. I don't know why Snagboot can find it, but when I use DFU util, it doesn't find after the R5 TISPL boot. Oh no, TISPL, that's the A53s. So this first one, TIboot 3.bin, that's going to be the R5. This should be the initial non-RAM configured. Oh, sure be nice to document this out. So the first time you load TIboot 3.bin, this should be the R5 boot code. I think, but I'm not sure. I'd have to look at how we built that. This SPL, I don't know why it's called TISPL, but this is the uboot SPL. I would think it would go and configure the DDR so that when you load it actually directly into the DDR, not into the internal memory. Whereas this TISPL bin should go into internal memory on the A53s. So R5, A53 internal, and A53 external memory. I believe that's the reason for the 3 boot loads. Anyway, I didn't like it. So something to watch out for. Maybe Snagboot is doing something different than just 3 consecutive DFU loads.
We can always look at the source code and to figure out, I guess.
Yep. Figuring out what Snagboot's doing should be fairly straightforward, but it's something to do.
But yeah, as you can see, it retries a couple of times at least, even here.
Oh, but that's after. But what is it trying to do? I think at this point, what is it trying? Why is it even
Okay.
trying to do anything else? Because it's already loaded U-boot, done installing U-boot, and then it's looking for some other interface to show up on USB, and that could be, you know, like if the U-boot loaded showed another DFU. I don't know. I don't know what it would be trying to. Why is it even retrying?
Maybe some kind of hack
But
that everything was fine.
Alt info. So this is already DFU alt info. This is our. Is that not the one? Oh, RAM. There's alt info RAM. Why does it want two images? Like, why wouldn't it not just be this info be for booting Linux? Like, why would it be set up to boot itself? That's how I read this. Like, this is an environment for setting it to boot itself.
I have seen like one U-boot booting another U-boot. Like we sometimes do it
Yeah,
for
I
our
mean, we're
own
doing
boot
that here.
as well, but yeah.
This should have an SPL. This should produce two images. Partition table does not match. Yeah, but I don't want MMC. I want I'm trying MMC, so why is it? DFU RAM is yes. So I can understand it has to use it for SPL, and maybe it's just copied the SPL DFU config. I don't know why it's configured like this for like, why is it not configured for Linux boot? Should probably override manufacturer. I don't know, maybe not.
I think none of our U-boots are like hard coded for Linux boot. They just pull stuff from ext Linux, and in ext Linux you provide the image file. So it does not try to automatically detect or anything.
Maybe. But I mean, that's either way. It shouldn't be that way. It should be. It should have. I'm sure there's something in whatever whatever system ready. But it seemed to me it feels like we should have a config to try to actually load Linux. Whereas these settings seem suitable for SPL, but it's not even SPL, right? Because it's why is it loading 2 images? Or is this this is a list of alternate settings, right? So I could add a setting for name. Is the device the same as name? What is it? That's set or export? How do you set a variable in U-boot? Okay. Partition table does not match DFU alt. Why is it trying to do MMC device? What is raw? backspace 0 equals alt. Linux raw, but it's MMC, so just want, I don't want any of that. Oh, I thought I just said that. Environment set DFU alt info. Alright, how come it didn't stay set? Alright, DFU is changing the environment. How useful is that? So it's setting it to something I think it's fetching from all of these. So I need to do environment unset alt dfu alt info mmc, no, set dash unsetf dash I. What other ones have it defined? DFU alt. How did it get that back again? Okay, what other DFUs are set? Alt info RAM, alt info SPY, alt info EMMC. I mean, it looks like it's set up for bringing them up, but it's always about setting up a different bootloader, flashing a different bootloader. So I don't know why the RAM one is flashing a different bootloader. The other ones sort of make sense. So just clear this one. Should pull it in, right? So it looks like DFU is kind of going through some loop and looking at all these DFU alts infos. Let's just print the environment one more time. Make sure there's no other DFU. There's DFU alt info RAM and a load address. And it still pulled it from somewhere. No, it didn't. So it's something in how it's... No, it did. It did. It pulled it. Like, why did it change it? Why did it change it to MMC no matter what I do? Why don't they just document what the command does? Start the DFU stack on the USB instance and use the DSP. It doesn't just use the variable, it changes the variable.
I mean, it might be a bug.
Looks like defective my design to me. All right, I'm gonna have to wrap this up, but it should be reasonable to configure U-boot to start DFU to load another image, and that way we can load the like with the DDR configured start, right? Because most of the Zephyr stuff that I saw, just go to this, right? So if I go to the other AM62 boards, hardware support boards. That's not where the board list is. If I look at the boards, like Phytech, I think who else has some, but if oh man, there's multiple. I don't know which one is the. I think the Lyra is the M62 boards. Yeah. So like the A53. If you look at this, I think they're just expecting. So you're pre-setting up an SD card. So I think this is a horrible experience. So you have to use a preset SD card, and then copy the Zephyr application to the first fat partition, and then go into U-boot and manually say load that binary file. That's atrocious. Right? West Flash should be the way. And like with no SD card inserted, right? Just use DFU. So then we can kind of quickly iterate on Zephyr. All right. Well, left more tasks to do than solved them. But any questions before that this brought up before I wrap up?
So I was working on the cape, and two LEDs in the 7 segment are behaving weirdly. Every other LED is fine. I'm not sure what the deal with those two is.
Well, specific LEDs is kind of odd because it's all shifted out on the 7 segment displays, right? There's just a shift register.
But we are actually controlling it over the MCP, basically GPIO extender. So it shows up as a normal GPIO controller with 16 GPIO pins, out of which we are using 14.
Yeah. So I'm just saying that okay, the fact that it's happening in the driver, but have you tried just slowing the interface down? It sounds like probably you're clocking on the wrong edge, or like if it's something bits, like there shouldn't be anything in the hardware, right, that would be different for the different bits.
Yeah, It might be due to the SPI max frequency and device tree. I will have to check.
Yeah, the only thing, like if it's, certain timing, if it's on the wrong edges, or if, maybe clocking too fast, then, but it's consistently the same bits that are wrong.
Yep. So the fourth and fifth offset, basically, two of the LEDs are being toggled with the same offset, in which should not be the case. So 4 should be for one, 5 should be for the other one, but the same one works for both.
Yeah, I suspect the polarity of the clock edge, or something like that. I don't know if you have a chance to look at it on it. Do you have a scope?
What?
An oscilloscope. Do you have an oscilloscope?
No, I do not.
Okay. If you want to,
It should be like
let me
fairly simple to fix.
Yeah, if you want me to take a look at it today, I probably can. My day's not. I mean, it's busy, but it's not insane. So
Yeah.
if you submit the code, I might take a look, because I want to take a look at the other examples anyway. That one of the big things I've just been, I'm still trying to do the layout, right? That's what I'll probably get right back to, is on the layout side of the handouts, right, for the teaching materials.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I can if like getting into some of the examples themselves, I think we need to still get through the whole question about whether or not you're submitting to PyPy and Cargo. Like, I thought we were very aligned on the example code being example code and not being a supported library or SDK or any of that stuff. So I'm confused why you're saying it's an SDK or a library or something that's going to require extra maintenance, rather than just keeping it a set of low-level demo code, right? Even if low-level means like using like stable classes, right, that are installed by Debian.
So I was thinking more in line of what Raspberry Pi does with GPIO 0.
What they do,
So
though,
anyone...
is way too I don't know. Maybe GPIO 0 is low enough. I worry that that could fall into disrepair.
The Rust code will not, the Python code will definitely. So
yeah.
I can agree with the Python side. Yeah. Because the language itself breaks the code, so there's not much that can be done.
Yes. So I'd like to try to avoid that. I'd rather just keep it out of, in the examples repo itself. And we need to introduce regression testing with images, right? So something that's going to test Robert's images, at least Robert's images, and ultimately we want to try to get stuff more upstream. But at least Robert's images should be regression tested, so that the examples never stop working on newer software images.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I think I don't know how else to align on that, but I doing more PyPy packages, I think, is probably not something we want to sign up for ourselves.
Yeah. I mean, I do not want to do Python packaging as well.
Okay. All right.
All right, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.